Hey everyone, welcome back to Effective English Learning. I'm Mia.
And I'm James. Great to have you here today.
James, here's something that happens to so many learners. They know the grammar, they know the words, they can read beautifully, but the moment they open their mouth to speak, it comes out slow and stiff and tangled.
Oh, that's incredibly common. And here's the reason nobody tells them. It's not a knowledge problem, it's a physical one.
Physical? Like my actual mouth?
Your actual mouth. Speaking English is a physical skill, like a sport. Your lips, your tongue, your jaw, they're muscles. And to speak English well, those muscles have to be trained.
So it's not just about my brain knowing the answer, it's about my mouth being able to make the shapes.
Exactly. Think about it. Your mouth has spent your whole life making the sounds of your first language. Those movements are deep, automatic, and strong. But English has different sounds, different shapes, a different rhythm. Your mouth has simply never practiced them.
So my tongue is basically an athlete who trained for one sport, and now I'm asking it to play a completely different one?
What a perfect way to put it. And you wouldn't expect to be good at a new sport on day one. You'd expect to train.
So that's today? We're going to train the mouth like a coach in a gym.
Precisely. We'll look at why your mouth muscles are untrained, the specific sounds and rhythms English needs, and the daily drills that build real, physical speaking ability.
And I love that this takes the shame away. If I sound stiff, I'm not stupid, I'm just untrained.
That's the whole reframe. You're not bad at English. Your mouth is just an athlete who hasn't done these exercises yet. And muscles, unlike talent, always respond to training.
So if speaking makes your mouth feel clumsy, that's normal, and it's completely fixable. Stay with us.
And no, we can't give you a new tongue by Friday.
Never. Just real physical training. Let's get into it.
Starting in front of a mirror.
Before we dive in, if you enjoy these chats, please tap subscribe. It's free and it helps more learners find us.
And a quick like really does help. Thank you, it means the world to us.
So, James, why a mirror? What's the first thing to actually notice?
Watch your mouth while you speak English, in a mirror. Most learners have never done it once. And you'll see something surprising. Your mouth barely moves.
Barely moves. Why would that be?
Because you're using your first language mouth. Every language has its own amount of movement. Some are spoken with a fairly still mouth. English uses big, clear lip and jaw movements. If you keep your mouth small, your English comes out mumbled.
So, I might be speaking English with the wrong mouth setting entirely.
That's exactly it. Teachers sometimes call it your mouth posture. Your mouth has a default setting from your first language, and English needs a different one. Bigger movements, more open, more active lips.
So, step one is almost exaggerating?
Deliberately over-moving your mouth at first, yes. Open wider, push your lips forward more, move your jaw more than feels natural. It'll feel silly and huge, and to a listener, it'll sound clear.
And that feeling of too much, is that a good sign?
It's the sign you're actually changing something. If it feels normal, you're doing what you always did. If it feels strange and big, you're training a new muscle movement. Strange means progress.
So the awkwardness isn't a problem, it's the workout.
The awkwardness is the workout. And like any exercise, it feels hard at first and becomes natural with repetition. A few weeks of bigger mouth movements and clear speech stops being effort and starts being your default.
So I watch my mouth and I make it work harder than feels comfortable.
That's the whole first lesson. Now, let's find the specific sounds your mouth has never had to make.
The sounds my language never taught me. What do you mean exactly?
Every language uses only some of the world's sounds, not all of them. So there are English sounds that simply don't exist in your first language. Your tongue has literally never made them.
So it's not that I'm saying them wrong, it's that my tongue has never even tried the movement.
Exactly. The most famous example for English learners is the th sound, as in think or this. Your tongue goes gently between your teeth. Many languages never do that, so learners swap it for a T, a D, an S, or a Z.
think becomes sink or tink.
Precisely. And the fix is purely physical. Put the tip of your tongue lightly between your teeth and blow. It feels ridiculous, but that tiny movement is the whole sound. Practice it slowly, 10 times, and your tongue learns a brand new trick.
So I isolate the one hard sound and drill it on its own.
Isolate and drill. Don't try to fix everything. Find your 2 or 3 troublemakers, the sounds people most often mishear from you, and train those specifically.
And how do I find my personal troublemakers?
Notice the words people ask you to repeat. Those repeated words are pointing at your problem sounds. That's your personal list, far more useful than a general one.
So the words I get asked to repeat are actually a free, personalized lesson.
A perfect one. And here's a powerful trick. Practice minimal pairs, 2 words that differ by just one sound. Ship and sheep. Think and sink. Vary and bury. Saying them back to back trains your mouth to feel the difference.
So I train the 2 sounds side by side until my mouth knows they're different.
Until your mouth can switch between them on purpose. That's real control. Now, the thing that matters even more than individual sounds.
More important than the sounds themselves? Now I'm intrigued.
Here's a secret that changes everything. You can pronounce every single sound perfectly and still sound unnatural if your rhythm is wrong. English is a musical language, and the music matters more than the notes.
So even perfect sounds aren't enough without the right rhythm?
Not nearly enough. English has strong beats and weak beats. In every word of more than one syllable, one part is stressed, louder, longer, clearer, and the rest are quiet.
Give me an example I can hear.
Take banana. It's not banana, flat and equal. It's banana. The middle is strong. The outsides are weak. Say it flat and it sounds robotic. Say it with the beat and it sounds alive.
So I've been giving every syllable the same weight, like a robot.
Most learners do, and it's the #1 thing that makes speech sound foreign, even when the sounds are correct. Get the stress right and you instantly sound far more natural, sometimes more than fixing the sounds themselves.
And it's not just inside words, is it? It's whole sentences too?
Beautifully spotted. In a sentence, the important words are stressed, and the little words like the, of, to get squeezed small and quiet. I want a cup of tea. The content words ring out. The little ones almost disappear.
So the little words are meant to be small. I've been trying to say them all clearly.
And that's what makes speech sound heavy and slow. Let the small words shrink, and let the key words shine. That's English rhythm, and it's the fastest route to sounding natural.
So I should practice the music, not just the words.
Tap it, hum it, feel the beat. Honestly, if you got only one thing from today, let it be this: learn the rhythm. Now, how do we actually absorb it? Let's copy the experts.
Quick reminder before we go on, if this is helping you, drop a comment with the word mouth. We read every one, and it tells us to keep making these.
Just one word, mouth. Go on, we'll see it.
So, copying the experts, this is shadowing, isn't it? Explain it properly.
Shadowing is the single best mouth training exercise there is. You play a short clip of a native speaker and you copy them immediately, at the same time or a half second behind, matching everything.
Matching everything? The sounds, the rhythm, the speed?
All of it. The sounds, the stress, the melody, the pauses, even the emotion. You're not just repeating words, you're trying to become that voice for a few seconds. Your mouth copies their mouth.
So instead of inventing the movements myself, I borrow movements that already work.
That's the genius of it. A perfect model goes straight into your muscles. You don't have to figure out the rhythm. You catch it, like a tune you can't stop humming.
How long should a shadowing session be?
Short and focused. Take 10 seconds of audio and loop it. Copy it 5, 10, 20 times until your mouth can ride along smoothly. 10 good seconds repeated beats 10 minutes done once.
So I go deep on a tiny piece rather than wide on a long one.
Depth every time. And choose audio you love, a show, a podcast, a speech you enjoy.
If you like the voice, you'll copy it happily for weeks. And pick natural, everyday speech, not slow textbook English.
And should I exaggerate here too?
Yes, copy them a little bigger than they are. Push the movements. It's better to overshoot and pull back than to mumble a weak imitation. Bold copying trains the muscle faster.
So loop a little clip and copy it boldly again and again.
Now, like any athlete, your mouth needs a warm-up.
A warm-up. So before I speak, I actually prepare my mouth?
Athletes stretch before they run. Singers warm up before they sing. Your mouth deserves the same, especially first thing in the day when it's stiff and lazy.
So a 2-minute mouth warm-up before an important conversation could genuinely help?
Enormously. A cold mouth mumbles, a warm mouth moves freely. Before a meeting, an interview, a class, spend 2 minutes waking your mouth up and you'll speak far more clearly.
So what's actually in a warm-up?
A few simple things. Stretch your face, big exaggerated vowels, ah, ee, oo, really moving the lips and jaw. Then some tongue twisters, said slowly and clearly, then a little faster.
Tongue twisters, the she sells seashells by the seashore kind?
Exactly those. They're not a silly game, they're targeted mouth exercises. She sells seashells by the seashore drills your S and SH. Red lorry, yellow lorry drills the tricky L and R. Pick ones with your problem sounds.
So a tongue twister is really a gym machine for one specific sound.
A gym machine for your tongue. I love that. And the rule is slow first, then fast. Slow and perfect beats fast and sloppy. Speed comes on its own once the movement is clean.
So I warm up, drill my problem sounds, and build speed gradually.
And just 5 minutes a day transforms your mouth over a few weeks. It's the most underrated habit in all of language learning. Now, a tip that instantly makes anyone sound clearer.
Instantly clearer? I'll take instant. What is it?
Slow down. That's it. Most learners speak too fast because they're nervous and want the scary moment to be over. But speed is the enemy of clear speech.
But doesn't speaking fast make me sound more fluent?
It's the great myth. Fast, mumbled speech sounds worse, not better. Fluency isn't speed, it's smoothness and clarity. A slower, clearer speaker sounds far more confident and capable than a fast, tangled one.
So slowing down doesn't make me sound like a beginner, it makes me sound in control.
Completely in control. When you slow down, your mouth has time to make each shape properly. The sounds land, the stress falls in the right place, and you have time to think so you stumble less.
So slowing down helps my mouth and my brain at the same time.
Both at once. And here's the secret weapon inside slowing down, the pause. Confident speakers pause. They stop, breathe, and let a thought land. Learners rush to fill every silence, and it makes them sound anxious.
So a pause isn't a mistake, it's a tool.
A powerful one. A short, calm pause makes you sound thoughtful and in command. Silence is not your enemy. Panic filling it is. Let the pauses breathe.
So I speak slower and I let myself pause and I sound more fluent, not less.
Far more. Try it today. Take one conversation and deliberately speak 20% slower. You'll be amazed how much clearer and calmer you sound.
Slow down, shape each word, and let the pauses do some of the work.
Now, the tool that shows you the truth about how you actually sound.
The truth about how I sound. This one feels a bit scary already.
Everyone hates it at first, recording yourself, but it's the mirror for your voice, and you can't fix what you can't hear.
And I think most of us have no idea how we actually sound when we speak English.
None at all. Inside your head, you sound one way. On a recording, you hear what listeners actually hear, and the gap is where all your progress hides. It's uncomfortable, and it's gold.
So how do I use recordings well?
2 ways. First, record yourself speaking freely for a minute, about your day, anything. Listen back and notice one thing to improve. Just one, not everything.
And the second way?
Record yourself shadowing, then play your version and the original back to back. The differences jump out instantly, where your rhythm went flat, where a sound slipped. Then you copy again, closer this time.
So I compare myself to the model, and the gap tells me exactly what to fix.
A precise, honest coach in your pocket. And do it once a week, not once a year. Over a month, you'll actually hear yourself improving, which is the most motivating thing in the world.
So it's uncomfortable, but it turns vague effort into clear feedback.
And feedback is what turns practice into progress. Practicing without listening back is like training with your eyes closed. Open your ears and you improve twice as fast.
And I should be kind to myself when I listen, I imagine.
Very kind. Everyone sounds strange to themselves at first. That's universal, not a flaw. Listen like a gentle coach, not a harsh judge. One improvement at a time.
So record, compare, fix one thing, repeat.
Now, the last and most important lesson of all.
The most important lesson. What is it?
That all of this will feel weird, genuinely, deeply weird for a while. The bigger mouth movements, the new sounds, the rhythm, hearing your own recordings. Your job is to keep going anyway.
So the weirdness is guaranteed.
Guaranteed. And it's actually the proof it's working. When you make new mouth movements, they feel unnatural, even fake, because they're unfamiliar. But unfamiliar isn't wrong, it's just new.
And I imagine many people quit right there because it feels so unnatural.
That's exactly where most people stop. They try the new sound, it feels strange, they decide that's not me, and they go back to the comfortable mumbled version, and they stay stuck forever, 1 inch from the breakthrough.
So how do I push through it?
Encouraging this, it feels weird because it's new, not because it's wrong. Give any new movement 2 weeks of daily practice before you judge it. By then, the strange has become normal, and your old way suddenly sounds off instead.
So the weird feeling isn't a stop sign, it's the halfway point.
It's the middle of the bridge. And the people who reach real, clear, confident English aren't the most talented. They're the ones who tolerated feeling silly for a few weeks longer than everyone else.
So my willingness to feel a bit ridiculous is actually my superpower.
It genuinely is. Be brave enough to sound strange to yourself for a little while, and you'll come out the other side sounding wonderful to everyone else.
So embrace the weird and keep training the mouth.
Now, let's gather it all up.
All right, let's pull it all together. James, the big idea we started with?
Speaking English is physical, like a sport. Your mouth is a set of muscles, trained by your first language, that now need to learn new movements.
You're not bad at English. Your mouth is just untrained. And the training itself?
Use a mirror and move your mouth bigger than feels natural. Isolate and drill the specific sounds your language never taught you using minimal pairs.
And above all, learn the music. English rhythm and stress matter even more than the individual sounds. And the daily practice?
Shadow real voices. Loop a short clip and copy it boldly. Warm up your mouth with big vowels and tongue twisters. Slow down and use pauses because clarity beats speed. And record yourself weekly to hear the truth and fix one thing at a time.
And the secret that decides who actually succeeds?
Pushing through the weird stage. New movements feel strange because they're new, not wrong. Give them 2 weeks and strange becomes natural.
And today's handy phrases?
It's not the notes, it's the music. A tongue twister to warm up and to push through. Plus that lovely reframe, your mouth as an untrained athlete.
And the one big idea if you forget everything else.
Train your mouth like a muscle. Bigger movements, the right rhythm, a little every day, and clear, confident English becomes physical, not lucky.
So here's our challenge for you today, and we really do read every comment.
Right now, out loud, say this 3 times, slowly, then a little faster. She sells seashells by the seashore. Feel your mouth working. Then tell us in the comments how it went.
And if this helped, a like, a subscribe, and a share with a friend who freezes up when they speak would mean the world to us.
So find a mirror, warm up your mouth, and copy a voice you love today.
Because a trained mouth speaks clearly, and yours is already in training. See you next time.
Bye, everyone.